My daddy ain't had a walking Bruce. What you talking about? He stayed right there with his family. But he was just as evil as he could be. My mama couldn't stand it. Couldn't stand that evilness. She ran off when I was about 8. Sneaked off one night after he had gone to sleep. Told me she was coming back for me. I ain't never seen her no more. All his women run off and left him. He wasn't good for nobody. When my turn come to head out, I was 14, got sniffed around with Joe Canewell's daughter. Had us an old mule we called Gray Boy. My daddy sent me out to do some plowing, and I tied up Gray Boy and went to fooling around with Joe Canewell's daughter. We done found us a nice little spot, and real cozy with each other. She about 13. We figured we grown anyway. So we down there enjoying ourselves. Ain't thinking about nothing. We didn't know Gray Boy got loose and winded back to the house, and my daddy was looking for me. We down there by the creek enjoying ourselves when my daddy come up on us, surprised us. He had them leather straps off the mule and commenced to whooping me like there was no tomorrow. I jumped up, mad, embarrassed. I was scared of my daddy. So when he commenced to whooping on me, quite naturally, I run to get out of the way. Now, I thought he was mad because I ain't done my work. But I see he was chasing me off so he could have a gal for himself. When I see what the matter of it was, I lost all fear of my daddy. And right there, I became a man, 14 years of age. Now, it was my turn to run him off. I picked up them same reins he had used on me. I picked up them reins, commenced to whooping on him. The gal jumped up, ran off. When my daddy turned to face me, I could see why the devil had never come to get him, because he was the devil himself. When I woke up, I was laying right there by the creek, and Blue, this old dog we had, was licking my face. I thought I was blind. I couldn't see nothing. And both my eyes were swollen shut. I laid there and cried. I didn't know what I was going to do. One thing I knew, the time had come for me to leave my daddy's house. Right there, the world suddenly got big. Took a long time before I cut it down the way I could handle it. Part of that cutting down was when I got to the place. I could feel it kicking in my blood. I knew the only thing that separated us was the matter of a few years. See, the story hits home, really, because I guess my relationship with my stepdad, at first, when I was younger, I idolized that man. We had a relationship. It was like an unbreakable bond to me, or so I thought. But at a certain age, he just seemed to get hard on me, and I just couldn't get away with nothing. I remember one time going to the grocery store. I had my driver's license and driving, and go pick up a gallon of milk for my mom. So whenever I got out the grocery store, I put the gallon of milk in my lap, and I drove home. When I got to the house, my daddy noticed that I had the milk in my lap. And he was like, "What you doing, boy? If you had to make a stop and that milk went somewhere, it could cause an accident." I thought he was just being hard on me. But one thing that he always had was good reasoning. And like I said, my teenage years, man, I hated that man. But I used to notice that his relationship with my older brother, they were like best of buds. And I found myself, I searched my heart and realized that I was envious and jealous. And I wondered, I was like, why can't we have that type of relationship? Howard Edward Hill was his name. When I was younger, I used to get up in the morning. My mom would wake me up because I slept with them up until I was about 5. And he drove cement trucks. So we had CBs at the house where we could talk to him. And every morning I get up, his handle was Shotgun Rider, and I was Shotgun Rider Jr. So every morning I get up and I, wish him a good day. When he got home from work, my mom would have me unlace his boots and take them off. She'd fix his plate, and I would take his plate to him, serve him, wait on him hand and foot. One thing I didn't like about it, though, was it was like my dad got steak, whereas us kids, we got chicken. So that was another little, bit of jealousy in my heart I didn't like. But eventually I got over it. But it also stopped. My mother stopped doing that. So, I don't know. At one point, I remember when I was younger, they talked about changing my name to Howard Edward Hill Jr. And I loved the idea. But my other stepfather, Otis, was alive, and he had to sign paperwork to change my last name to Hill. And I found out that he wouldn't do it. He wasn't my real father, but being that my mother had me within their marriage, the laws, had her able to decide my last name. So she had always explained to me that she wanted all her children to have the same last name. So, I don't know. It was like, after I got older, I had a situation where I had to defend my mom, or I got caught in between a situation with my mom and my dad. I always used to tell them, I stay out of grown folks' business, and I noticed that he would go to work and he had to deal with racism day in and day out, just people picking at him. And he'd come home and he'd want to vent. But eventually, somehow, my mother got in the line of fire, and it would become a fight between she and him. And I used to always intervene because my mother had high blood pressure and other issues. She had back surgery and, multiple health issues. So I would always reason with her, Mom, you got to calm yourself down because you don't want to get your blood pressure high. So whenever I was older after Desert Storm, I went off one day and came back to the house. And my mother told me that my father and her had gotten into it, and he had thrown her down and punched her and took the gun away from her. That was part of her thing. Like, whenever she got mad at him, she'd pull a knife, she'd go get a gun. So, I guess at a young age, I realized how women instigate situations. They escalate it. So, I was in my back room, and I just heard my mom come through the front door, Cedrick. And I come out my room, walk down the hall, see what the matter of it was. Man, I never seen my mom run. She shot past me so fast, she was like a blur. All I could hear was, he's after me. So, when my dad come around the corner, I grabbed him, hemmed him up, and like, Dad, stop, baby, And for some reason, he swung at me. I don't know how I dodged it, but it kind of clicked, at him trying to punch me. Because this wasn't a chastising situation. I wasn't in the wrong. I always highly respected my dad and never, rose up against him, especially whenever he chastised me. But this time, I wasn't having it. I wasn't in the wrong in this situation. So I stepped back gave him like a two-piece, bloop, bloop. I dropped him. So he was on his knees, and he grabbed me around my knees. So I picked him up, and I started walking with him. And he was struggling, he doing different things. And we had two separate bathrooms, and we ended up in my parents' bathroom. And I just remember, like my friends say, making him touch the walls. I tore the toilet off out of place in the sink, and I ended up throwing him in the bathtub. And I hit him with another two-piece, and he was dazed. So I turned around and I looked, and the gun just so happened had fallen out of his pocket. So I picked it up, just told my dad to leave. After that, it took me like 2 years to rebuild that relationship. I just kept at it. I told him that it wasn't about me being disrespectful. I appreciate everything that you did. I love you. So, like I said, it took me like 2 years to rebuild that relationship. And my mother was going through different surgeries and stuff, like my last year with her, she had like a lap band or something placed, and what it did was part of her intestine had died, and they had to go in and cut it out and reattach the other part. So while she's in that surgery, they realized that she had a heart murmur. And so she had to come back later on, like a month or two later, and have another surgery. I remember my brother was at home, and I think he went with her for that surgery. So I want to say it was September 1st, or really before September, because she passed away September 2nd. So I just remember that Saturday she having me wash her car so she can go to church the next morning. I kind of griped and complained. And, then that following Monday, I heard word that whenever she went to church that Sunday, that my dad had to go and get her because she couldn't make it back by herself. So that Monday was Labor Day, and we were doing the family ritual of grilling, getting everything prepared. And my mother, we had to ask her where the grills were so I can clean them, get them prepped and everything for my dad to grill, because that was the thing that he did. My mother cooked in the house, but any grilling my stepdad did. So she told us where it was, and then she stumbled out the bedroom while I was in the kitchen, scrubbing them, and she went into her bathroom. So my dad come in, passed me, he was talking to me and such and such. And then he passed by the bathroom and he checked on her. He knocked on the door. "You all right, gal?" "Well, just let us know if you need anything or whatever." So he went back to the back room, where he had taken up residency after I moved out. Just his computers and everything. He had his CD radios back there at one point too. So I just remember after he passed, just the time frame in my mind, I kind of didn't hear anything. So I went and I checked on her, knocked on the door. "Mom," I didn't hear anything. So I had helped her up like the week before or something at the bathroom. She got stuck on the toilet, and she told everybody how I helped her and this and that. And I'm just like, Mom, don't worry. It wasn't nothing to me. She was just like glorifying me. So I just thought it'd probably be another situation like that. So I opened the door and I see my mom keeled over on the toilet. Her butt still kind of up in the air, and I saw urine all over the floor. So kind of freaked out in my mind, but I held it together, and I'm just like trying to pick her up. But her legs and everything was in a very awkward position, and I just felt that if I muscled her up, that I'd probably break her leg or break something. So I thought to go get my dad. So I run back there to the back room. Some tears are flowing. My dad was on the phone with my sister, Pam. So I told him to tell her to call the EMTs and for him to come and help me get Mom out the bathroom. So, he did it. He came with me and he helped me pick her up and get her in the floor in the hallway and stretch her out and start doing CPR on her. Whenever I tilted her head back and I gave the 2 breaths. The first time I gave her breath, it was like the air seeped out and there was this gurgling sound. Her lungs were full of fluid. And then the taste, the medicine that came out of her was just, I don't know, it made me gag, almost throw up. So, I don't know. What I did was I switched. I was like, Dad, I need you to give her the breaths and I'll do the compressions, So I guess what you try to do, like 100 a minute. So I'm giving her compressions. And in my mind, I'm thinking about all the time I watched her suffer, with her back, with her high blood pressure, with this and that, for years. Just saw her as suffering all those years. So I kind of made it up in my mind. I didn't really want to bring her back because it would have been selfish, because this world it's just full of long suffering. So my dad, I just watched him, and he really was trying to save his best friend, and it was like at that moment I realized how much he actually loved her. And how he and Princess raced off to the hospital, and before he passed, I was sitting outside on the steps by the driveway, and he passed me. He's like, "You coming to the hospital?" I was like, "Nah, Dad. I'm gonna tell you right now, congratulations. She made it to death do us part." And I went back, rolled me up a blunt. I went to the backyard and started smoking. Just so happened 2 of my friends come up, Sean and Roman, So I'm there, tears are just flowing, streaming. And they asked me what happened, and I told them. So they left me to be alone. After that, then my dad got like real tight, even more so, We started smoking together. We philosophized. We talked about this, talk about Negroes, talk about people's mentality, the social injustices. And I really bonded with him, from that point on. I made sure to go by and cut his yard. Because my mom kind of made me promise to take care of her or look after her if she ever passed.
So I made sure to live up to that obligation. Just remember hearing word about him. You know, my sister told me she went up to the house after he had cancer. He denied chemotherapy. As he used to always tell me, he never expected to live to be this old. So they told me how he just deteriorated, you know. He was just like a blob in the bed for his last days. And then I heard about him passing. So for the man who I am today, I want to say thank you to my stepdad, Howard Edward Hill, because he made me what I am.